But first, parts of 4 regions in Ukraine are now under Russian martial law. The same 4 regions the country illegally claimed to have annexed last month. Vladimir Putin issued the orders Wednesday. They give regional governors in Donetsk, Kherson, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia a suite of new emergency powers, which could include restrictions on travel and public gatherings. But Ukrainian forces have been taking back territory in those regions, meaning the martial law orders stop at the front lines. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams has the latest from Kyiv.
Today in Kherson, one of the regions occupied by Russia, the authorities installed by Moscow started moving tens of thousands of people away from the front line, ahead of an expected Ukrainian counteroffensive. The Russian general in charge of the invasion admitted the situation is tense, as Russian troops battle to hold on to land they've seized.
He made a massive mistake by so-called annexing these regions, because he cannot defend them.
Andrei Zagorodnyuk is Ukraine's former defense minister. He told us Vladimir Putin may no longer be thinking rationally.
He is capable of making desperate mistakes and desperate measures.
Ukraine's military has made stunning progress in recent weeks, reclaiming swaths of territory from Russian forces. Russia's retaliated with swarms of so-called suicide drones and attacks on the power grid as a harsh winter looms. But Ukrainians have responded with stunning resilience. Last week, this playground in the centre of Kyiv was hit by a strike. Now they've filled in the crater and they're busy rebuilding. I'd rather sit in the cold with no water and electricity, laughs this woman, than be in Russia. Ukraine's reportedly made a formal request to Israel to provide it with new air defence systems, including Iron Dome. But Israel's consistently said that it won't give weapons to Ukraine. John.
Holly Williams in Kyiv. Thank you, Holly. For more, I'm joined by former ambassador at large to the former Soviet Union, Stephen Sestanovich. He's a professor of diplomacy at Columbia University. So the first question is, what does martial law mean in this context?
Well, for the occupied territories where Russian troops already are present, it may not mean terribly much. The military has been pretty much in charge of the areas that it has controlled. It may give them new powers to deport people and move them around, and that may be preparatory to a big new move, particularly related to Kherson, which is the area where they're militarily most vulnerable. The implications of martial law beyond the occupied territories that they've claimed to annex in the rest of Russia may even be more far-reaching and important.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, Putin obviously is laying the groundwork, giving a legal basis to governors and to his own representatives for putting the economy on a war footing, for further conscription, for moving deportees, also for blocking any protests or negative media, opposition activity. He may also be thinking about the importance of blocking any actions or movements by military police or paramilitary units that are not approved by the Kremlin. You know, people have been very casually saying, well, could Putin be brought down by a coup? The odds are really against that, but they're against it in part because Putin has many powers of the sort that he's enhanced this week with martial law to stop it.
Let me follow up on that. That's fascinating. So I know you've written recently about the pressures he may be feeling at home from the most nationalist forces. Do you think he's feeling any kind of real pressure, or that these are just preparatory moves that he's making because he's always thinking ahead?
I don't think he's feeling a whole lot of pressure because these critics have, any real political base. But he's feeling pressure because the things that they're saying are true. That is, the Russian military situation is deteriorating in Ukraine. It's gone from bad to worse. This evening on Russian state TV, one of the talk show commentators sort of interrupted one of their military analysts by saying, well, why didn't we think of this back in February? That's the sort of question that Putin fears is going around Moscow, around the Russian elite, and in the Russian military, too.
So how should we think wisely about this move on martial law and some of the other consolidating moves he's made? Is it a sign of desperation? Is it the kind of thing like, with a wet bar of soap, the harder you squeeze it, the harder it is to hold on to?
Putin's actions can be the first step toward a lot of different implementation of several different strategies. It could be preparation for a long slog in the next phase of the war. It could be preparation for downsizing of the effort. Certainly a withdrawal from Kherson seems to be likely, but it may be that there's a pullback in store from other positions. It could be a prelude to a diplomatic initiative, looking as though he's scared the hell out of the Ukrainians. It may be the first step toward many more severe weeks of this kind of attacks on civilian infrastructure. Putin is prepared to be totally brutal here, but he also doesn't want to lose. And if he thinks he's only going to make things worse, he's got to face the facts.
And finally, Stephen, the World Health Organization suggested that a humanitarian crisis could be unfolding in Ukraine this winter after Russia destroyed key power plants and other infrastructure. How bad could it get? And does it require a different kind of response from the West on this humanitarian question?
It can get super bad. I mean, I've been in meetings in Ukraine in January when there wasn't heat on in the buildings and it was really, really cold. People had to stamp their feet. And it's going to be a lot worse than that in lots of cities across the whole country. Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the European Commission today, said, what is happening in Ukraine, it amounts to acts of pure terror, war crimes. But the consequences of that can't be avoided just by calling them out. There's going to have to be more humanitarian aid, more economic aid, more military aid.
Ambassador Stephen Sestanovich, thank you for walking us through all of that. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.